Happy Monday, scholars. Welcome to our lesson for today. Today we're going to be doing some subtraction regrouping practice. So hopefully you already went ahead and watched the routines video. Remember, we're always watching that routines link first. And if there's no routines link, then you don't have the routine for the day. But at least Monday through Thursday, we will always have a math routine for you to do. So hopefully you went and you already watched that. If you didn't, go ahead, pause this video. Make sure you do, because that is, as per usual, our first question on our form. So you might notice it'll look like I'm changing clothes in this video. That's because originally this lesson was supposed to be for Friday, but because we still wanted you guys to have time to make sure you were finishing last week's assignment, I went ahead and pushed this lesson. So I'm not like doing costume changes in the back. It was just that I'd recorded it already. Also, I want to go through something really quickly with you all because the form's a little bit different. Last week, I totally understand how it was like super confusing to be flipping through forms. So this week, what I discovered after I did some research, we know we can always be doing research to learn how to figure out how to do things better. I went ahead and I discovered that I could actually make different sections on forms. So I want to walk you through that really quickly, and then we'll get through our lesson for today. So when you come to April 6th, because that's today's date, you're going to come to subtraction with regrouping practice. We're working on subtraction with regrouping because I was noticing on our quiz, we were doing pretty great on the addition equations, but the subtraction for us was still a little tricky. So I want to make sure that everybody's doing this. So if you go to the form, it's just going to be called practice, because when you log into it, you're going to see it looks very similar to what you might be used to. Always check out that header. This week it is indeed Buffy, like you'll hear me mention again, because she's my cat and I love her, and I thought this was really silly. So always be typing in your name first and last, your campus, making sure you answer that question. Before we get into the actual content of today, I want to show you some differences on this form. So when you scroll to the bottom, instead of seeing a submit button, you're going to see something that says next. As I'm going to mention later in the video, for this problem, for this form, there's actually going to be a couple different sections. The first section, it's going to make me enter some information, so just bear with me here. I'm just going to click some random stuff so it lets me answer. Typing in things. When you go to that next section, the next section you'll see is early finisher problems. For any of my friends who maybe like they rock and roll when it comes to subtraction, if you have extra time when we get to the practice later on, I want you to go ahead and click next at the bottom once you enter your answers and try these problems out. We can always be using our extra time to make ourselves smarter and by practicing a little bit more. My friends always know this as like early finisher or challenge problems. I'm going to try to be adding some of these in for our friends who maybe just are up for an extra challenge. You don't have to do this section. If you're someone who needs a little bit of extra time and you use all your time, no big deal. This is just for some extra practice or for my early finishers who need a little bit of an extra challenge. However, once you finish the part that we do on the video together, or our guided practice, our practice together, you're going to come down and you're going to click next. From now on, the part that we were calling that independent practice, that's always going to be on the same form. Say, so cool. I know, I thought so too. So when you come to this part, this is the part that you're going to do by yourself. So now, instead of having to like click submit, go to a new form, click submit again, then go click submit on the assignment, all you're going to have to do is do one form. So then you'll go through, you'll do this independent practice. Remember, independent means we do it by ourselves. And I almost just gave away the special surprise I have at the end of the form. So that's what's some difference on the new form. As per usual, you'll then always go ahead and click submit here. When you click submit, it's going to make me answer some random things. Obviously, these aren't the answers. I'm just typing it so I can show you guys how to click submit. When you click submit, you'll see this. It also reminds you to submit the assignment on Google Classroom. Another new feature I want to show you. Say you realize that like, oh my gosh, you totally did a problem wrong. No big deal. You can now go to what's called edit your responses, and it'll take you back to the form. Some of you guys were super concerned because you thought before when you click submit, you're like, all my work disappeared. It didn't. It got sent to me still. You just couldn't see it in the form. However, I figured out actually Miss Hayes, I'll be honest, I'm going to give her the credit where she deserves it. She figured out a cool feature that I turned on that basically will always save your work, and you can actually go in and edit the same form. So super cool there. You do still have to go in though and go back to your classroom here. And remember, you guys have, when you click into the assignment, you have that big button on the side that says mark as done. Remember to click please, if you don't forget. If you don't remember, I circled it like a million times in your Friday video. Please remember to click that. All right, so those are the differences for today. Can't wait to see you guys rock this lesson. What you're going to do is check out the header. The header of today is actually a picture of Buffy. That's my cat. She was stretched out like a noodle, and I thought it was really funny, so I decided to make it the top of your Friday guided practice. So Don't forget, type your name, type your campus, and answer whatever you think the number sentence that was in the routines video, if it was over or under 400. Reminder, once you click submit at the bottom of this form, or in this case next, because there'll be 2 sections, once you click submit, make sure that you read back on the feedback to make sure you got this correct, because I am giving some feedback for friends who maybe are getting it a little bit wrong. All right, my friends, so like I said, today we're going to be reviewing regrouping. We're going to be reviewing regrouping. Remember, sorry, I just choked on my own spit there. Reminder, regrouping, it's not when we like change the number. We're not like adding or taking away. It's still the same number. What we're doing is we're actually changing the value into different units, exactly. So like, let's check out this first example and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So let me get out my dot cam so you can see what I'm writing with. I'm going to write in pen today since I've heard sometimes you can't see my pencil and that's really annoying. So obviously I want you guys to be able to see my work. I make my video a little bit bigger and let's get rock and rolling. So 42 minus 15. So the first thing that I notice here, when I have 42 minus 15, if I want to break this apart into my place values, I can't take away 5 ones from 2 ones, right? Like if I would take away the 2 and then I'd have more to take away and I don't have those. So I have to break apart. I have to go to my tens place and steal a 10 from the tens place. I'm not adding or subtracting. I'm really just keeping the same value, but changing some of these units now. So the way that we would do this in blocks, as a reminder, is I would draw my 42, right? And so I know I can just take this 10 and I can break it apart into the 10 ones that I know make up every single 10, right? There's always going to be 10 ones in a 10 stick. There's always going to be 10 ones in 10. That's the definition of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I still have a total of 42, right? I haven't messed with anything because I still have 3 tens here. And now I just simply have a total of 1, 2 plus 10, that's 12 ones. And 30 plus 12 is still 42. So I haven't changed that start number 42. All I've done is broken it apart into different units. So now I can actually take away those 5 ones. So now that I have enough ones to take away 5 ones from 15, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I took away my 5 ones. Now I know that 15 has 1 10 in the tens place. So I can take away that 1 10. And now I can add up what is left over to figure out what is actually the difference between 42 and 15. Reminder, the answer to a subtraction equation, we call it the difference. Just like the answer to an addition equation, we call the sum. So the difference between 42 and 15, so I see there are 2 tens here, so that's 20 plus, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 7 ones. I know that 20 plus 7, that equals 27 because that is the expanded form of 27, right? So now let's think about how we can do this with other number sentences, because we can obviously do it with blocks, but we can do it with number sentences as well. I'm just going to use a sticky note to make it a little bit different. So if I still have that same 42 minus 15 equals, so what I can do here is first, let's do it by place value, right? So I can do 42 minus 5, and then just count backwards, right? So if I have 42, 41, 40, 40, 39, 38, 37. So I know that equals 37. Then I can come over here and say 37 minus, and I need to take away the 10 from 15. Since I took away the 5, now I need to take away the 10 that's in 15. 37 minus 10 equals 27. Still got that same answer, but just didn't use blocks this time. So my recommendation is when you notice that you can't just do like adding and subtracting the place value, just break it apart into the different parts of this place value. So we know the answer to 42 minus 15 in this case is 27 with our regrouping strategy. We're going to do this again without a story problem, and then we're actually going to try it with a story problem. I'm so excited to see us use our strategy. For this one, what is 100 minus or take away, since we know we read that minus sign as take away, what is 100 take away 27? I want to give you guys about like 3 minutes to try this by yourself. I want to challenge you to please use this picture strategy. If in that 3 minutes you're able to use the picture strategy and you're still with extra time, go ahead and try to do it with number sentences as well. But I just really want everyone to be using this picture strategy so we understand what it's like to break the numbers apart. Capiche? Capiche. Cool. All right, I'm going to stick up those 3-minute timer for you. Alrighty, that 3-minute timer has begun, so go ahead and get started. You are solving what is 100 minus 27 using a picture strategy as at least one of your strategies. I'm going to get this add down, but you should be solving. Can't wait to see all of our hard work. Do make sure that you draw a horizontal line to keep your work nice, neat, and organized. You might actually have to break apart multiple things for this one. No big deal. I know you're going to rock it. If, like me, you just finished one strategy, I can't wait to see your second strategy. I'm sure you're going to rock. All right, just under a minute left. If you have finished early, I do want you to go ahead and preview the next problem. See if you can even write a number sentence that matches the story. Just want to give all of our friends who need a little bit more time the time they need. But just under 30 seconds left. Eight more seconds. 2 and 1. Nice job, my friends. Let's see these strategies you rocked and rolled. So what I really hope you notice is actually I had to regroup twice in this problem, but we're mathematicians, superstars, so I'm sure it wasn't that bad, but this is how we do it. So I had 100 block to start, right? And I'm trying to take away 27. The first thing I immediately noticed, I'm going to have to break this 100 up, right? Like I can't take away the tens if they're all in my 100 block. So what I did was I crossed it out and I replaced it with the, how many tens are in 100 again? Show me in your hands. Yep, if you're holding up all your fingers, you are absolutely correct. There are 10 tens and 100. Nice going. Kiss your brain. It's hard to kiss my brain under a hat. So I know that I drew out my 10 sticks. So then what I immediately did was I took away 2 because I know there are how many tens in 27? Yep, there are 2 tens in 27. I can remember that because I know 20 is 10 plus 10, 2 tens. Or I can just look at my tens place here and I see a 2. There are 2 tens in 27, so I crossed out 2 of my 10 tens. So then I was like, okay, cool, time to take away my 7 ones, right? Eek! I had to break up one of my tens to get the ones out, right? They're already stuck in my tens. So I crossed out one more 10, came down, drew my arrow, and I drew out my 10 little 1 dots. Now I could take away those 7 ones, right? So I came over, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I had 3 ones left over. So I then went to my 10 sticks. I counted how many 10 sticks I had. In this case, I labeled because we know Miss Cupp sometimes makes mistakes if she doesn't label. So I recommend you label too. You go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Then I had the threes for my 3 ones to add. So I did 70 plus 3 equals 73. So 100 minus 27 equals 73. Now, I could also do this in number sentences. The way I would do this in number sentences is, let me see, so you guys can actually see my whole screen. You know what? You don't need to see the Google form right now, so I'm just going to do this. Haha! big and nice and big and bold. So the way to do this in number sentences that I did at least was 100 minus 27, right? That's the problem we're solving. So first I broke it apart into its place value. So similar to just like I did with the blocks, right? I broke it apart into its place value. I took the tens away first, then I took away the ones. I'm going to do the same thing with my number sentences here if I can figure out how to make my camera be a little straight. There we go. Cool. So for me, it's easier to do 10 minus 20 first because I always try to think about that in groups of 10, in groups of 10. So if I think about that, 10 groups of 10 is 100. 2 groups of 10 is 20. So to me, that's the same thing as 10 minus 2. I know 10 minus 2 is 8. I'm pretty good with my fact fluencies up through 10, right? So I know, and I can also just count down. 10 take away 2. I have 8 left over. So I know 8 groups of 10 then is 80. So that's why off to the side here, I just drew that margin note of how I was able to do that quick and fast. Because I know 10 minus 2 is 8, I know 100 minus 20 equals 80. Excellent. So now that I did my tens, checking off my 2 there, now that I did my tens, it's time for me to do my ones. So I did 80 minus 7, and the way I did that was you can either hold it to your chest and think, okay, 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, 73. So I have 73. Just wanted to hold up so you can see the 7 figures. Or I can think about it, okay, I know 7 plus 3 equals 10, right? And if I know I took away a full 10 from 80, that would be 70. But I am not taking away a full 10, I'm only taking away 7. So I know that there'll be 80 and then 3 in my ones place. Or excuse me, 70 and then 3 in my ones place because 73 plus 7 equals 80. So if you're somebody who's maybe counting backwards is a little bit tough, I would recommend just thinking, okay, what plus 7 equals 80? Using our tens knowledge. It's super, super useful to be using that knowledge. Excellent job, my friends. Now it's time to apply these regrouping strategies to our story problems because we always got to be able to solve actual math problems in a story, right? Real life in context, we got to be able to solve it in context. So after we type our answer here, let's spice things up a little bit. I know you guys are going to rock it, don't worry. So I had a bunch of blueberries. There was a sale at the supermarket on blueberries, and I wanted to make some blueberry muffins. I had 125 blueberries. I used 48 blueberries for the first batch of muffins. I then used 35 blueberries for the second batch of muffins. I want to know how many blueberries I'm going to have left. What do you notice about this problem? Think about what we've done for the past couple days. What do you notice? 5 seconds. If you're noticing that this problem is going to have multiple parts, you can go ahead and give yourself a self high five. You can give yourself a pat on the back. You can say like, whoop, whoop, raise the roof, whatever you want to do to celebrate the fact that, yeah, this is going to have multiple parts because I have some amount. I take away some from my first batch, and then I take away another group for my second batch. So I'm actually going to have to take away twice. So what I would like you guys to do is I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to solve this problem. Then you're going to write your answer in expanded form, and you're going to write the number sentence to match the story. If you finish early and you've shown 2 strategies, I want you to come down here and click next. Oh, it's making me solve this. So you should be able to click next, and there'll be another story problem to finish for early finishers. Okay? I can't do it right now just because I haven't typed in any answers right now. But if I were to type in nonsense like this and then randomly click something, I'm not even going to look because I'm not even going to tell you. When you click next, you'll see there's another problem. Early finishers, if you've shown those 2 strategies, go ahead and try to solve this problem. And then once the time goes up, just click back right here to go back so we can actually go over our work. Sound good? Cool. Can't wait to see it. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes for this problem. I think you can handle it. All right, that timer is going to begin now. I found this fun little timer. Go ahead. How many blueberries do I have left after I finish those muffins? Reminder, it's useful to try to draw that number sentence to match the story first, but up to you. So a reminder, there's multiple ways to be solving this problem. So if you are working on your first strategy and you've already finished, go ahead and try a second strategy, please. Reminder, if you're a friend who is an early finisher, you can also be working on that early finisher problem on the next section. So 20 seconds left. And pencils down in 1. Awesome job, my friends. That's our time. So if you're one of the friends who did make it to the early finisher, please click back. So make sure that we're on the blueberry problem. All right, so let's figure out how many blueberries I had. If you got that I had 42 blueberries left, go ahead and say ding, 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 because you're absolutely right. I did this in a couple strategies, and I'm going to show you guys one more strategy that might be kind of useful. So the first thing I did was we always write that number sentence to match the problem first. I tend to like doing that because then I can actually be matching my work to the story problem. Sorry guys, my camera is being a little bit funky. So I'm going to go ahead and make my work a little bit bigger since that's what we need to see for you all here. All right, so the first thing I did was I wrote a number sentence to match a story problem, which I had 125 blueberries. I used 48 of them, so I'm taking them away. And I used another 35 of them, so I'm taking them away, equals some unknown amount. First thing I did, since I have 125, I went ahead and I drew my 125 in blocks right here. Now, I know that 48 is the first number I'm supposed to take away, but I actually took away 35 first here because I noticed that the ones place is matched. So I wouldn't have to regroup quite yet. So first I took away the 35. Since I'm only taking away, it doesn't necessarily matter what order I'm taking away here. So I took away the 5 ones. Then I came over and I tried to take away my 3 10s, right? There's a 3 in the 35. There's a 3 in the tens place. So I went boop, boop. I don't have enough 10s to take away. So I went and I was like, I can just break apart this 100 into the 10 sticks that are in 100. So I came over here and I took away my 30th, or I took away my third 10 sticks. So I took away my 30. At this point, it was time for me to take away 48. I wanted to start with my ones again first because I realized at this point I had no ones to take away. So I actually went and I took this 10 stick, I completely broke it apart as drawn by this arrow here into ones. I drew my 10 ones. Since I had my ones, I could take away those 8 ones I needed to take away for 48. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I had these 2 ones left over. I circled them because I knew I was done with my ones and I could protect those. Then I knew I had to take away another 4 10s because there's 4 10s and 48. So I come over here, I did 1, 2, 3, 4. And I had completely taken away everything I needed to take away. So it's time for me to count how many 10s I had. I labeled them 10, 20, 30, 40. Came over here, I know 40 plus 2 equals 42. So in that one, you might have noticed we actually had to regroup a couple times, right? That's why we had to draw multiple arrows. No big deal. We can handle it like a champ by using our modeling strategy. Another way to think about this problem, somewhat similar to the ones we did on Wednesday and Thursday, I can also think about this problem as by using some addition strategies as well. So I know that I have 125 and I'm taking away this total of whatever, I'm taking away 48, then I'm taking away 35, right? So if I'm taking away 48 blueberries and 35 blueberries, I can also just figure out how many total blueberries I'm taking away, right? So if I add 48 to plus 35 to figure out how many total I'm taking away, then I can just take away one number, which might help me not have to break apart my tens and ones so often. Let's check. So if I do 48 plus 35, I'm going to add my ones here first. Remember, I'm finding out the total amount of blueberries I took away. So I'm going to add my ones here first. I know that 8 plus 5 is 13. Then I'm going to add my tens. I know 40 plus 30 is 70 because that's like 4 plus 3. I know that 13 plus 70 is 83. So reminder, I took away a total of 83. I'm just changing the way I'm thinking about these numbers. I'm not changing any numbers yet, right? I'm just keeping the same value, just combining them so I can do it in one step. Great. So you can either do it in number sentences like I did over here and chunk it, but I want to show you especially how I would do this with blocks and 10 sticks to see if it was more efficient, was a faster strategy than the one we did above. So I drew my 125 again. There's my 100 block, my 2 tens, my 5s. And then now I'm just going to take away 83. Since I know the combined value of 48 and 35 is 83, now I can just take away 5 ones, and now I can just take away 8 10 sticks. So cool, or excuse me, 3 ones. I said 5 ones, but I meant 3. So what's cool about this is I have 5 ones, and I only need to take away 3, right? So I don't have to regroup anything for my ones. I can just take away the 3 ones from 83, since this is essentially what I'm doing right now. So took away my 3 ones, giving myself a little check. I have 2 left over. Now I need to take away how many tens? Show me in your hands. I hope you have 8 fingers up because you're absolutely right. I need to take away 8 tens. I looked at my tens place here. I took away 8. I need to take away 8 tens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over. I'm going to cross out 1 10, 2 tens. I'm out of tens, but good mathematicians know I come to my hundreds block. I break it apart into the how many tens? 10 tens and 100. Draw out my 10 tens, and then I crossed out 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I'm still trying to take away that total of 80. I labeled how many I have left over. I had 40. The 4 tens that I have plus the 2 ones that I have left over equals 42. So I got the same answer again. We can also be doing other strategies like breaking it apart into bigger chunks, maybe trying to find what value I could add up from 83. So I want to show you that strategy as well. It's a good strategy to remember and keep in mind. So one of the advantages of being able to use that combined strategy is, so if I have 125 minus 83, because remember, 83, I got that from the 48 that I took away at first, and then 35 I took away at the beginning. Just a reminder, you don't necessarily have to write that. What I can do over here is I can, just like I would with any one-step subtraction, I can start at 83 and add up and add, until I get to 125. So in this case, I'd probably use some friendly numbers. 83 plus 7 gets me to 90. I know 90 plus 10 gets me to 100. If I'm at 100, I know that I can either add just plus 25 if I need to get to 125. 100 plus 25 equals 125. Or if you want to break it apart again, you can do 100 plus 20 equals 120. 120 plus 5 equals 125. If I box the middle here, I will see that I have 10 plus 20 is 30. 5 plus 7 equals, you can either count up or if you're using your brain, I know 5 plus 5 is 10. I know 7 is 2 more than 5. So 5 plus 7 would equal 12. So then 30 plus 12 equals 42. So we got the same answer there. Lots of different strategies you can be using. All remembering though, this starts with us regrouping with our subtraction. We can still be using some addition to check. Notice how I used this as a checking strategy. I didn't use this to solve because today we are using that subtraction with regrouping strategy. So on your independent practice, I would like to see you guys solving these with the regrouping strategy first. That means either doing your picture strategy and breaking it apart or doing it in your regrouping number sentences. I do want everybody to try the picture strategy on their independent practice. All right, my friends, so you finished that lesson for the guided practice. Now at this point, once the video ends, you can go ahead and close out of it. Do not close out of the form though. Remember, you got to go down to the bottom, click next, and then your independent practice is right there. If you do have any questions on that, remember, you can always head to office hours. Great opportunity to ask some questions to either Mr. Cody or Miss Hendricks. Also, you can be asking a question in the comment. However, if you think it's a specific question that you need someone to walk you through, please go to office hours or let us know if that time doesn't work, but please do your best to attend. All right, my friends, can't wait to see you rock it on the independent practice. Don't forget to click mark as done in the Google Classroom. Bonus to my friends who've already rocked it. All right, catch you later.